Hello everyone, welcome to my Mirage F1 landing tutorial. By now there's already other landing tutorials already up, but if you're anything like me, you like to consume all the tutorials you can find. If you're having problems or if you just like to get a better grasp of what this module is all about before you purchase it. First, we're going to review all the control bindings that you should set up before you try and land. First, we're going to bind the parachute button. Next, make sure that you bind your thrust, which is your throttle, of course, alongside with your wheel brakes. Next, make sure you bind your flaps. The way I have it, I have flaps all three positions, but especially for now, make sure you have full flaps, which is down position for your flaps. Next, we are going to bind our landing gear. What I do is I make sure I press landing gear down. So I have all the positions bound, but landing gear down, you have to make sure you press it twice in order for the gears to come down. And finally, we're going to bind the sight selector switch approach position. First step, we need to set approach mode. So you should have that bound if you follow my instructions earlier. Next step, you want to bring your flaps down, and that should be bound to full flaps button. When you're below 250, you can lower your landing gear. At this point, we're just going to keep our eye on the angle of attack indicator. Just make sure we sort of stay in the green. But our main focus is actually on our velocity vector, which is the little orange block that's below my reticle here on my HUD. So you just want to keep your eye on that. What I like to do is try and keep it lined up with the runway. Basically, the sooner you can get your velocity vector on that runway, probably the better. And because that way you know that you're keeping your speed within range. Like, I don't even have to look at my speedometer at this point. Our main focus is just keeping our eye on that velocity vector. That's our main focus. As long as the velocity vector is within a proximity of the runway at least, you know you're not going too fast or too slow, so you know you won't stall because you can see your velocity vector. But this plane is very forgiving. Like, I think it's easier to land than the Viper per se. Like, the landing gear, in my opinion, it feels like it's in between the Hornet and the Viper, I would say, when it comes to landing gear. And just what I mean is, you can kind of have like a harder landing than the Viper, but the gear just won't buckle as easily. It's a lot more tolerant and more forgiving, I would say, even though it's an older plane. But just in this one regard, as far as like, I'm just talking about the landing gear toughness. Now that we've touched down, we can go ahead and release our chute, which is a button you should have bound already if you followed my instructions earlier at the beginning of the video. And I hope, of course, that this tutorial was helpful to someone. If it is helpful, let me know with a like. Maybe consider subscribing if you would like to get more tutorials or more content like this. Thanks for watching.